In this tutorial, we're going to go over how to create custom analytics views in HubSpot. Custom analytics views are great if you want to create more filtered analytics views. So, when we go into HubSpot and we go into reports and analytics tools and traffic analytics, we get to see some of these source views, which is really just broken down by the subdomains that are hosted in HubSpot. For example, blog.directdevelopment.com is for our blog, info for our landing pages, and www for our website. But in case, you don't actually host your website on HubSpot, you actually won't see www in your sources view because it's not hosted here. So this is a case where if you wanted to be able to create a custom source report for your website, you'd have to create a custom source report. And so you can do that two ways. Either if you go into your traffic analytics and you click on these analytics views at the top and you bring this drop down, you want to do manage views. It'll bring you to this page where it's report and analytics tracking straight into the analytics views tab. The other way to get to this page is if you go into your portal settings and this gear icon on the top right, you go to reports, you go to tracking code, and you go to analytics views in the tab. It'll bring you to the same exact page. So let's pretend that your website isn't hosted on HubSpot. So you don't have that subdomain, which is www in most cases, hosted on HubSpot, and you don't get to see that sources report. You're going to want to add another view in this custom analytics views section, down here, because these are the default ones that HubSpot gives you due to the hosted pages. But we want to create one that isn't hosted on HubSpot, but because the HubSpot tracking code is in the global settings of that website, we still are able to track everything like normal. So we're going to add another view down here. We're going to call it something like DD website. Again, I already have one of these, but I just wanted to use this for the purpose of this demo. So we're going to name it DD website. You could just name it website. You want to name it something where it's identifiable enough where you can understand that what this analytics view is about. In this case, I could choose something like a subdomain. So in cases, and here's a nice little example, a subdomain is the first part of a domain name. So in www.inbound.com, the subdomain is www. This is perfect. This is exactly what I want because I want to create a custom analytics view for my website, which is using the www subdomain. So I'm just going to copy that right there, and I want to choose to match only a specific subdomain. So now it's going to say, okay, we're going to make a custom analytics view for all of the pages that have a subdomain of www.domain.com. I'm going to apply that filter, and I'm going to press save. So obviously we have two of these now. But if we go back to our analytics tools, go back to traffic analytics, we'll be able to see these custom views down here. And this one, tracking since 8/13/2019, which is today, is everything that has been tracking since I've made it. So the thing about custom analytics views that is very important is that they don't take into account retroactive data. They only start tracking as soon as that analytics view is created. So if I go into the one that I created, 4 days ago, I actually have some more historical data because now it's been live for 4 days, and I get to see some information on the sessions that were sourced exclusively from our www pages. So that is how you create custom analytics views in HubSpot. But let's say you wanted to also create a custom analytic view for maybe a URL path. So instead of, you don't really care if it's www.domain.com or info.domain.com, you're really interested more in what comes at the very end. So if we go back into our analytics views and we add another view, what if we did something by URL path starts? So again, we have a nice little example. This filter will start after the domain, e.g. www.example.com or blog.example.fr. Try /blog or /en. So for example, let's say I wanted to create a custom view for anyone that had a page view of /higher ed. So this would be, I would call this my higher ed view, something like that, where all of these pages, that I have within HubSpot that start with a /higher ed URL path all of that information will be bucketed into this new custom analytics view. So this is very important if you have a very specific naming convention for maybe your landing pages to differentiate them between, maybe you have multiple types of accounts within one HubSpot portal. Maybe you are doing, an account for higher ed, an account for a nonprofit. Maybe you'd want to start all of your higher ed pages with /higher ed, and then the name of the page, or with your nonprofit accounts would be /nonprofit, and then another slash with the name of the page. If you do it that way, you can create custom analytics views for those specific page types and those specific accounts, so that when you go back into your analytics tools and your traffic sources, and you want to look for all of your landing pages broken down by account type, like higher education or nonprofit, you're actually able to do that, because the default sources report only checks for the entire landing page subdomain. So you're not able to actually filter by a custom type that us as users would have created. In order to do that, we'd have to go and check this specifically higher ed analytics views that we created. And we know that it'll work because all of these pages that we're going to create in the HubSpot tool will have a URL path of higher ed or HE or whatever it is that you've defined it, as long as your custom analytics views filters match your naming conventions.